Oh, hello. So I was doing this before, and I tried recording this before on a nice fancy camera, and it didn't work. So I'm doing it again with my webcam. I'm going to cover how to bring textures into a 3D model. So say you've got a 3D model from TurboSquid, or you've got it from Sketchfab or something like that, and you bring the model in, and you've downloaded textures, but the materials aren't working. So what it might look like is, in my case, I brought this old barn in, and it's all come in as like white, that kind of corresponds to this. So all the shaders have. When I double click on these materials, you can see that there's just one thing going on. It's just the default value of white is being plugged into the base color. Okay, and that's the case for all of them. Okay. Except for the one I've already been working on, which looks something like this. Okay, so that's the shader, and these are the textures that I've plugged into them. Okay, so base color, metallic, specular, normal, ambient occlusion. For the most part, that'll get you there. Maybe sometimes you get a roughness textures to play around with, but generally that'll do for most models, across the board. So let's take a look at what I've done. I've created folders for each of these materials, and within the folders I brought in all the texture maps that came with the file. Okay, so I'm going to look at front, or no, I want to look at clothes. Clothes is interesting, yeah. So floor, clothes, and these are all the texture maps. Okay, now I could go and take all of these and then plug them into. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll open up floor clothes. Okay, I'll go to floor clothes folder. I will take all of these, hold on shift, bring them all in, and then it's going to be pretty messy. So no, I'm going to do it one by one instead. So let's take a look at the this. I don't need this. This is just a vector. Okay, there's no pixels or anything associated with this. So I'm just going to delete this little node. Boom, gone. I'm going to plug in the albedo into the base color. Albedo is sometimes called diffuse. Yeah, I'm going to hit apply. Cool. So now we have this. All the UVW settings are actually, all that data is in the model. Okay, not the texture map, not the shaders, in the model. Okay, so that's an interesting shader. Let's plug in that. Oh, I hadn't saved it. See the way the transparency was gone. Anyway, ambient occlusion goes in ambient occlusion. I really doubt that we're going to see that much of a difference with this. So let's have a look where some of our ambient occlusion might be baked into this. Maybe around here somewhere. So if it's gonna have any effect at all, you will see it where light is a problem getting into the area, because how close it is. So nah, not really. So height, also known as displacement. We're not going to use that for the moment. We're going to keep it nice and simple. By simple means we're going to use the default shader. But let's take a look at the normal map. What I love about Unreal is that you have a normal map and you can plug it directly into the normal channel, and boom, straight away you're seeing, look at that, as you move the camera around you are seeing changes straight away. You just slow down my camera so I can do a nice kind of move on it, but yeah, you're seeing the effect of the normal map. You can go really far with just these two inputs, the normal and the ambient occlusion, but they've supplied a little bit more. They supplied metallic as well, so let's plug the metallic texture into the metallic channel and hit apply. I would expect a little bit more from that, but you can see that here it's maybe just affecting one portion of it. Maybe there's a part of this which is just more metallic than the rest. Who knows? Maybe it's a completely different part of the geometry. Who knows? Oh, maybe it is. Maybe it's that. Yeah, I like that. But somehow I could be wrong. Let's have a look. Okay, let's just take this for a moment. Let's unplug metallic by right clicking and break all pin links. Boom. Hit apply. let's hit apply. Okay, so that's actually, yeah, that's not affecting anything. So that's a different piece altogether. So I guess the metallic one is quite subtle. I mean, sometimes these passes are rendered out just as default, you know, so they're not necessarily useful. Metallic smoothness, let's have a look and see if that's going to make any effect to the specular. It really has softened it down completely. Maybe we'll plug it into the anisotropy. Break open links. Yeah, I kind of liked it before. Yeah, let's just get rid of this. We can just delete the node. Hit apply. Don't forget to hit apply. So that's it in a nutshell. Let's do one more now. Save that. So saving that material. Okay. We go back out of that folder. You can see that this is updated. Okay. So that's it. That's the material we're just in. Just open up again. Let's take a look at front. We're going to do exactly the same thing again. Front. Okay. So open up front. Go open up the front folder. We've only got 1, 2, 3, 4 textures to deal with. Okay, so I brought them all in, ready to go. This is the albedo. You can see from the, it's better to bring one in at a time. You know, in case you're in a situation like this where like, oh no, where's everything? So albedo to base color. Get rid of this. Let's get it in the way. No change to the scene because I haven't hit apply. Ooh. Nice. Okay, I've just hit save as well. Okay, so now we're gonna see a lot of difference going on in the scene here. Okay, now we have so I can't remember what this one is, so that's why it's always good to go back to this. RGB for the AO channel going into the ambient occlusion. Okay, and again, I doubt we're gonna see much of an effect. No, it kind of depends on the lighting. So if whoever the 3D artist was lighting this and a really diffused lighting, we're not going to really see that much of an ambient occlusion. In fact, if we study this ambient occlusion channel, you know, it is quite subtle. You know, it is very subtle. So let's have a look at the. Let's just go back into the front again, and this one, which is all black, corresponds to this one, which is all black, and that goes into the metallic. I somehow reckon I'm not going to see that much of a difference with this either. Yeah, really just not much of a difference. But we know we're definitely going to see something major from, well, I know we're going to see something major from the normal channel once that is applied. Let's have a look. Maybe I'm wrong. No, we certainly had. So what we're seeing from the normal channel is all that little fine detail in the wood. Okay. You can see it here, all the kind of almost down to grain, you know, probably a little bit too much. Let's have a quick study of the normal map. You can see all that detail that with norm you have to be modeled, but the normal map takes care of that. That's why normal maps are the best thing ever. And why sometimes you're not going to see, like if I move the camera around, you know, all you're really going to see is changes caused by a very diffuse light. But if we bring in a this little light here, just to see how effective everything is, you know. Well, I think my light is somewhere behind there, so that's okay. Yeah, you can see the change of the wood. Those normal maps kicking in. You know, you can see the detail in the grain. Okay, so very nice. And yeah, and that's how you apply all the texture maps. You know, again, going back to it, you know, the 3D artist may just it's a case of ticking boxes when you're exporting a lot of these texture maps, and sometimes you'll find that you have more textures than you need. You know, so that's it.